guys, I just finished a really cool game. Playing with, this is me, playing with Hefaistos, who is currently number 2, and I think he's probably the best player. Like, he played less than me, so that's why his elo is less than me. And UD27, I'm going to call him UD, because UD27, that's too long. So when we were playing this, he was currently number 6, but he also played less games, and I think he played possibly more free player than we did, because I think he was focusing on free player a little bit more. I think for Hefaistos, this was his first free player game, so for me it was like I played some, not that many. I mainly played 2-player, but I played some. So let's go. This is a very, very cool game. I was very excited, and this is the game that could get me to 500, which would be like amazing if I win this. This is obviously a replay, so I know what happens, but I'm just gonna keep you in the dark for the moment. So what we have palaces first. This round it's like, yeah, you can still like dig some or make some houses. Then we have sailing, and sailing is paired with bonus tile. We have double TP, so it seems that early TPs would be maybe only in the first round. That's what I was thinking when I was playing this. And for bonus tiles, we have houses and we have palaces. We do not have spade, and we do not have TP scoring. That's what's missing. So spade is obviously something that usually the last player is mostly interested into. Maybe not in this setup, because with palaces scoring, suddenly this looks like a very interesting idea. So I'm thinking, I'm first player, I get to choose the faction. What should I do? There are a couple of considerations. When I'm thinking strong palaces, I'm thinking maybe druids, I'm thinking strong early palaces. Fairies, maybe sun worshippers, maybe fire sprites with this one. Water sprites, surprisingly, but water sprites are not that great on this map, so they work in very specific situations. And leprechauns, so that's what I'm thinking. And from all of them, I'm thinking that the safest bet is sun worshippers. In 3 players, when I'm first player, I will get to place 2 houses at the end. I get maybe a stronger economy because of the initial houses, so like that would be just better for me. And I thought that like they can be bad, like it would at least be decent. They might not be like the absolute best here, but like picking on first pick, I think that makes a lot of sense, and I don't want to let my other players get it. I picked this. I was expecting leprechauns next, like 100%, but I was surprised to find out, like I was expecting leprechauns from Yudi, and from Hefaistos I was expecting fairies, or fire sprites. I was actually expecting fire sprites. So here we get druids instead, which actually makes some sense with this. Like maybe they can get early lefty and then righty here and just like score a bunch. That's certainly a strategy here. I thought that, yeah, I overlooked this, that this can be played, but I was still thinking that this should probably be like last picked, not second picked. So I was still expecting leprechauns here. And after druids, I was like sure that Hefaistos will pick leprechauns, and of course he did. Settlements. In this one, we have a very interesting situation, because green and yellow has this really cool, like one city here and the other one here, or like even here, and that's very good cooperation usually. And the leprechauns kinda cannot get on this party. Like they can start here and just like try to squeeze here, or start here and try to squeeze here, but because of the placements from sun worshippers, that's really not possible because I can place both here and here. So I thought I'll just start e8 and invite, you know, the green player here. And then we'll see what happens. So the invitation was accepted. That's very good. And it's like, it's good for both of us. So there is no reason for any of us to not do this. We are just profiting over the third player here. And for leprechauns, I thought that would be really tricky. I thought we would get like f4 and f2. That was what I was expecting. But it turns out it was a3, which also makes sense. This is an invitation for another city for green here. The one that I can kind of stop here. So I thought this was like maybe not strong enough invitation, but yeah, we'll see. And there is an invitation for f2 where like everyone can get into the triangle. So the invitation here was accepted, which was, I thought, maybe slightly better for me. And now I had a couple of choices. I knew I was placing e3, so I think I played, maybe I'm not clicking because I might place somewhere else. But I was still expecting them to pick like 6 gold for leprechauns, then 3-3, and then I would be left with the palace, or palace, and then I would be left with this one. So I was thinking like everybody is going for palaces. I was sure about that. But as you soon find out, this is not the case. So I was expecting like e3 and d1 maybe, or like e3, e6, maybe f5 also to like, you know, if he wants to like play hardball, which as druids I don't think he does, then I just get this easier. But in the end I thought that maybe actually I want a town here, like a2, b1, c2, e3. That's actually like a nice one. That's can make the connection here later, or like we can go through here maybe. There's like a couple of possibilities. So in the end I placed a2 and e3. I thought that this would make me get the most magic, because both leprechauns will just feed me, because why would they feed everyone when they and they can also just feed me. So I thought that I'm going e3, a2. But I will be very surprised very soon. So this was, I think this was just a mistake, honestly. Like he has no sailing spots right away, right? Like he's 2 away, and 1 temp shipping I thought doesn't give enough power. So like if he wants to do this, I think 3-3 would be a more reasonable choice if he's planning to getting double spade. Then we followed with 3-3, which I thought was also weird because I thought that this is just plain better for druids. But I thought, okay guys, you are giving me this, I will accept. Like I was thinking about this one as well, but this compared with the spell that I'm just playing gives me 29 gold. And that would enable me to place not only the palace, but both dwellings, which I thought was like a superb opening. And I was just like not sure what they're doing with this one. Like I was sure that they're not placing palaces, but you know, I was still going to follow with my plan. This left me confused. I thought maybe he's placing the palace. But yeah, we'll see. So this was expected. Like right now, my A2 house looks silly. Maybe that's why Hefaistos did it. But yeah, I was still quite happy. Like if I sacrifice this, so like his plan is worse. I like for me it was hard to imagine why wouldn't you place this if it's possible for you, because there is this scoring. There's only 3 scoring, so there is like not much. Like you can score here, but it won't be very, like it won't be a lot, right? So I thought that you need this also for like the end game and for end game scoring and for majorities, for area scoring. That's how you call it, I guess. So I was very confused here, but I was like, you know, Hefaistos surprised me so many times when we played together. He actually has a very good record against me. Like I was mostly losing to him in 1v1. Yeah, I was prepared to be to be stomped by ignoring this. And I like we also talked about it, that like in 1v1 it's often a trap, but we also talked that maybe it's not a trap for some worshippers. I think that was his suggestion, and I since then I tried this. And I think sometimes it's not a trap, sometimes it is. So like you have to be careful. But on this track, I was with this being so late, I thought that yeah, you kind of need that. So I was still going to make palace, and I'm making the palace here. That's the safest town I have right now, and that just works splendidly for me, at least at the beginning. So I was expecting like to dig maybe e4 here for this one. Like he is going to need to cut me off. I thought the ordering was a bit weird. I thought e4 would come first because d2 might come from Hefaistos. But it's just like, you know, a small inaccuracy, I think. And like, I think like if he's not placing there very soon, also here maybe a bit weird. Maybe he should place d2 actually. I'm just upgrading. Oh, sorry. I know why he did it, because he's gaining 1 mana from me, so. Yeah, probably not a mistake then. Maybe a mistake, sorry, not mistake, inaccuracy by Hefaistos. He should play on d2, because I think he's still placing on d2. Yeah, so he just, instead of gaining 1 mana, he gave away 1 mana. And now I have, like, now I'm stomping, right? And I can stomp either like e2 d1 or f6 and f5. I thought this was safe with him coming up, and this was very far away from safe. So I thought that this town actually makes sense. This will be the town that I will make with the trading posts. So I am just stomping here and building, and I'm like super happy about my economy. So thinking where he will go, I'm thinking it has to be houses, right? And that's also hurts leprechauns, right? They would like to spread the houses and score for them very soon. But it might be just turn 3, right? And then they will also have to maybe build a little bit of sailing. And he's passing as well, and I think he's just passing for 3-3. That just makes sense, I think. I was maybe thinking that he'll try to steal this from me, and he does, which is a bit unfortunate, but yeah. I was actually planning something potentially weird here. Because now, like, my economy is a bit stronger than theirs, I think. I have a stalling button, like this is just, you know, wait a turn button. So 3-3 and 1-3, that's just 2 gold less, right? And if I get on this late, like my plan was, in this round, I'm not scoring for shovels. So my plan was to get on this tile, because I'm last also in the second round. Get on this tile, upgrade it maybe even once, and just like, you know, stall a little, play d1, play f5, f6, all that good stuff, right? And then I could like outlast them, so no one gets on this tile. And my plan would be in this round to go very quick, maybe even not use the stomp, and go pass very early into this round to get this tile twice and prevent any of them from getting the benefits of it. This is the most high scoring tile usually in the game, right? Like, it's the most possible points, because this is the only one that gives you 9 instead of 8. And it's the cheapest to maximize the scoring. Like, it always costs you maximum of 24 gold. And for all the others, it's always more. Like, it's always more money to get the full scoring. And usually, like, because of the circumstances, you cannot get it. So it's very important to like be a master of the style. So that was my plan. I thought it is a very good plan. But, you know, of course I'm placing one more house, and then I'm passing for sailing, scoring sailing. And then we go into next round. So, yeah. So, UD was going first. He didn't have the mana, right? So he's just like making sure this is a contested field, so he needs to secure that. So his turn is fast, right? Because they're competing for tiles, right? Now they are competing for d3. So he digs that, right? Like he wants to either get here or get here at least, right? Because he has trouble getting reasonable cities. I think this is actually a pretty cool move from Hefaistos to like go into the middle, because without it, like he's just like here and he's here, right? So that's like he's not connecting. Like we cut him off already, right? Like without this, he's not connecting. His cities are not super strong, I would say. Like this would be, something like he can maybe go like here, here, and then here and connect like that. That was another possibility. Maybe he could have explored that, but I thought this was pretty cool because this switches like he will be the benefiter of the mana from the green, probably from the trading posts. So now for mana, I want to go slow, right? So I just take the cash. So sorry, I don't even take the cash because I don't need to right now. Like I can threaten to take the cash. So I thought I'll just stomp, right? Like one stomp here. That just makes sense. I can place in the next round. The next one is UD, and UD just goes up. Makes sense. Like he cannot dig this reasonably. He has no sailing, so like that's his only way. And yeah, I wanted to prevent him from getting f6 as well. So I don't think he should, even if he could, because I can like I can stomp around here if I need to. That's not terrible for me. And this one would actually slow him down, so that's okay. And like he still wants me to place here because he's getting all the mana twice probably, because one for houses and one's for one trading post that I'm about to place in this game. So Hefaistos is still digging, right? Like he needs to secure this space, right? Like this makes him, he can now connect through h2 with this f2 house, which can be important later. And I'm just placing a house here. I'm just chilling. He passes, and he passes for this because that's gives him a spell, which is reasonable. Like I think he needs a spell. His economy is like it's not bad, but it's not great either. He passes with 0 because like he cannot do anything more, so he's going to go for houses. That's expected. And I thought about like doing f5, but then I thought I can just double. I can like use this instead of 7 gold. I can do it again with gold, and I'm passing for 6. And now I'm going into this bonus tile. The only one that I have, like I'm the only one that have palaces. I have, I have the mana for the spell. It's not that I will be able to cast it, but still, I'm threatening it. And yeah, and everything is looking good. And my plan was to just bump it once here, and maybe pass or stomp if the situation allows it. So that's the starting is like quite standard, just 2 spells that we are all interested in. So I do not get a spell. I bump to 3, and I thought like with this advantage, they are of course bumping like around like this. Usually would be just a lot of bumps because you need sailing for the end game, and it's just good to get points while you at it. So now is the moment of choice, and I thought like I counted this, and I thought that like it's more reasonable for him to actually bump this and potentially get on my tile. Like let me get on his tile, because like right now he's wasting 2 points, so this would be like 7 points for him. And if he bumps once and gets on this tile and plays a palace, which I thought for sure he would be doing in this round, That's 6 points, right? So with going slow, I think he's not losing that much, right? And he's potentially gaining more because I might be also interested in like playing some other stuff, and so he might still get it. So I thought I can stomp, and I stomped F1 because I need it for my city. But of course I was mistaken, so he snatches that tile, which I think is fine for him also. Like he also needs maybe some cash, stuff like that. I was just thinking that he might want to play b6 earlier or something like that even. So like he gets more cash, but I guess this was just one cash, so maybe I was just being silly and I should have just passed this. But actually this is not that bad for me either. Like at the time I thought it might be bad for me, but here I think I want to be on this tile actually. This is a 3-pointer, and I'm actually with first round palace for some worshippers, you're actually pressed for money sometimes. Like without trading post, you're not making that much money. You're making a lot of utility, but you're not making that much money. So actually standing on this one is not that bad for me. And using stomp every time might, because I was sure I was not connecting this game. Like after this happens, I was like, probably not connecting. Like it will just cost too much. So now there is a possibility of connection. So I just went for it. Oh, sorry, I actually placed f5 because I thought, yeah, like he cannot pass before me because I want the style, so I'm safe, so I can play this. Yeah. So yeah, 8 points for me. That was quite cool. So now he gets on this style, I think. No, he actually gets on this one. Yeah, that's better for him. Makes sense. And for the penultimate round, druids are first again, right? And like they can stall now. I was hoping he was going to increase saving, but I guess it didn't make sense for him that much. So he now has a perfect stall, right? So I was just like counting, how can I stall? So this will be, you know, I would be able to get that time. So for me, first thing that I would like to do is make a city, so I can like prolong this. Obviously, like he will be able to make a city as well. And for Hefaistos, I think that he has like the hardest city to make, right? Like he can, I guess, make this one or this one, but it's just like the money is almost not there. Like he will be almost dried out. And there is an interesting thing, like when you are just after the guy that you want his tile, like it's much easier for me to gain this than for Hefaistos. And there is also a thing that Hefaistos probably doesn't want to build any palaces, and he's the only one. Maybe he will build one, but still, like this one is the worst for him. So he wants this, and there is this danger of green passing to this tile, which I think is also pretty reasonable for him. And then I jump into this tile, and Hefaistos is left without a tile. So he would get one scoring tile for the whole game. To contrast this, I was getting like let's say half and 2/3. So let's say like 1.5 tile. Let's call it like that. Or should I say like 10 points? He was getting 7, and then green is getting, I think, 14, right? So he's leading in the passing score for this one. And if he gets this one and I get this one for 9, and Hefaistos gets this one, I think that's the way to third place. So Hefaistos might be interested in getting this one quick, so he doesn't need to care about this and he's first in the next round, he can play for this one, for example. Or he needs to be really careful, so I leave it to him. This is like this weird dynamic. And I think I'm pretty safe because I can still get to this one. There is this danger of me getting to this tile. Then green outlasting black because I think it has more turns. And then like the black takes this one. But it's also weird for green then because he doesn't get the tile. So, as you can see, it's very complicated. I'm not sure if I did the best job describing this, but it's very complicated. So what I do here, I'm just like black doesn't have any more houses, so I can actually stomp this ground. Oh, first he goes and he actually like he needs this, so he gives me a lot of mana. I think overflown one, and I can actually slowly stomp g4 because I'm still thinking that like maybe I cannot outlast him because he seems to be going fast. So I'm not building a house. The black is gaining a house, and I think that might have been okay. Maybe I should have gone fast. That's like one consideration, but I kind of think I did all right here. So he's going for the town. I'm still like gaining some mana. I'm placing here. And I'm going for the cash. Because I just want more cash to prolong the game longer. Like with him spending so much on the palace, it's easier for me to outlast him now. He's placing a town, I think. Like both of them are placing a town. This was a potential threat by me, so like he had to take care of that because otherwise, yeah, this town is very expensive. It's very expensive as it is, like even with C1, but without it, it's even more expensive. So now this was the weird part. I think that's the huge mistake here. That happens unless I'm not seeing something. This should have been a power town. And then he should have used the power to use this power action, I think. And then he like stalls more. But now he has much less than us, so I don't think he will be able to stall. If needed, I can build this town this turn. So now I'm preparing for connection. Like this was his best place to get a town. So I'm both denying it, and I'm also using this to connect. I will connect with G2, I3. And like if I connect and if I'm able to stomp A1, I will lead the area scoring, which is very important for player. So now there is just some more shenanigans. He's actually passing fast, and I was very happy to see him pass, but I think he chooses the wrong tile. Like he can place both of them. Like I think it's still fine for him. I just thought that like if he is by any way threatened by leprechauns, he can just go here and that makes sure that he's ahead of leprechauns in this game. So now I was actually calculating, and it seemed to me that these options of like going for for the build and going for the build and probably ending up with this style, or going fast and getting this style, they're almost identical, but I thought leprechauns would prefer this style because they might actually not build all the dwellings, so it's not 8 versus 9, it's actually like 9 versus 6 or 7. So I decided to do a fast pass this time. And very happy about that. So that means that I would be scoring like 3 rounds with the tiles. Leprechauns would get 2 rounds with the tiles. So that's something that maybe will decide this game, and he will have 3 rounds with the tiles, but I think he's worth almost as good as me, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, last round. And yeah, he's getting 7 gold. That's like obvious. Classic first turn move. Usually this style is better, but nobody can profit anymore because we have full sailing. So now, what's my plan? I want to connect. I want I3 and A1, but I need to get some TPs out first, and I'll be like F1, E2, D1 probably. So I'm just using, I think, F1 or E2, doesn't really matter. He's placing H2 to secure his connection, so he's also scared about that. The green is not looking to connect, but now he has 35 gold, so what he can do actually, like, I think city is quite unreasonable because, like, I don't know if he didn't have enough mana or he buried too much, but with the bridge it would be hard for him because like leprechauns are also interested in the bridge. So like if he places the bridge first, then I guess like he can get snatched this. So like nobody is doing that. And if he places this first and like leprechaun sees that he needs to make a bridge, then he'll just make a bridge and deny him. So tough position. So I think he should have let it go for this town and just maximize the scoring with this awesome righty. Water one, I think that's how we call it in Terra Mystica. He can just place 3 more and maybe upgrade one to the palace to give him like 4 more gold, 4 more power. So that would actually translate to some points. I thought that's the plan. And maybe he even gets some like crazy stuff and like places maybe G2 for this. Maybe something happens. I thought this is like more reasonable plan. Like the dream here, that like going here doesn't give him any much, but yeah, he does. So, and that's like the nail in the coffin, I think, for green, which I thought was doing quite well before this turn, actually. So yeah, so I'm just securing this one, and then we will just start, you know, placing. The deny is here, of course, and the black still doesn't have any houses, so I'm not threatened. I was threatened by like this power action maybe, or like this power action and placing here, because he actually needs some power in this city, like some emblems, but it didn't happen, so I just placed I3 first, and then next round I'm just placing A1. And yeah, he's just making this city and he'll upgrade it here, which was surprising to me, but I still need to stomp that. He's still upgrading, and he upgraded here and here, doesn't really matter. And yeah, I'm stomping here, he's upgrading. I made a mistake here, I think I should have burned maybe 1 more mana, but doesn't really matter. He's getting 2 cities. I'm getting 1 more city. Yeah. I think this was a bit odd. I think he should have upgraded here because he's actually fighting the black, not me. Like right now he's in 3rd place if you count the points, and I'm in 1st, but yeah, you know, these things happen. So in the end he's scoring for 7 because the green cannot take him over anymore or even draw him. So placing another house is just a loss for him of a point. He's scoring 4, which if you take a look, I guess for this one it would be 3, right? 1, 2, 3. So maybe actually that's why he decided to go for this one instead of this one. But I thought with some other lines he could have potentially, like with here, here, and here, he could have threatened for the majority as well. So yeah, could have been done both ways. So I'm scoring for 9. I'm winning the... I don't even need to place this one, but I was prepared to place this one on multiple hexes. And in the end, it's a very close score, I think. Like with Druid passive and stuff like that, right? But Yeah, I thought that, yeah, at some point, like, I was quite in control, and especially the start was very explosive for me. So in the end, I got first place with 5 points behind Hefaistos and with 2 more points behind UD. I thought it was a really cool game. Let me know, guys, what you think, and see you in the next one.